Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark movie fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Today we're discussing the Jane Mysteries Too Much to Lose, which is streaming exclusively on the Hallmark Plus platform. If just 25 minutes with us isn't enough, come hang out with us after you're done listening. Follow us on Instagram. We have 2 accounts, Girls Gone Hallmark and Megan and Wendy.
You guys want to definitely be following our Instagram account, especially with our cruise coming up.
The content is going to be lit.
No, I don't know where that came from. I have a teenager, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, I hope we can provide like content that people want to see.
Let us know what you want to know, what you want to see. We plan on sharing the you know what out of that event. We can't wait. We booked it 14 months ago. Mm-hmm. So the fact that it is finally a month away, I'm so excited.
I'm very excited. I'm just wondering, like, do the listeners want us like tracking down the Hallmark celebs? Do they want like...
I'm not going to be that person.
You're not going to be like, Tyler!
Hijink music behind me as I like, don't.
Maybe we can borrow...
In my Christmas jammies creeping around the corner.
I was going to say, maybe we could borrow Jody's like cape and hat for the cruise.
Maybe we need a wig.
Maybe we need a wig. I'll wear the black one. You can wear the heiress and the handyman one.
Okay.
Hey, jump into our Girls Gone Hallmark Facebook group. Not a whole lot of people talking about this collection of movies. It makes me really wonder how many people have Hallmark Plus. Or maybe they're just not interested in the Jane Mysteries.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
I think
we should take a poll on our Instagram stories.
I was going to do that.
And in our Facebook group.
But I was also thinking we might have a better idea when the groomsmen come out and see how many people are talking about that.
Yeah.
Because people are not even really talking about Love on the Danube a whole lot either.
No, but that post on our website,
they're curious.
They're curious.
They're curious about it.
Uh-huh. We will be reviewing all 3 groomsmen movies here on Girls Gone Hallmark. We did drop a full schedule, October, November, December, including fall, Countdown to Christmas, Miracles of Christmas, and just a tiny bit of Hallmark Plus content. We are 2 people trying to do it all, but the groomsmen is included in our upcoming reviews.
What is missing from it is the mistletoe murders.
Correct. Aurora Teagarden is missing. We're not doing the Jonathan Bennett Finding Mr. Christmas. We're also not doing the Cherry Lane trilogy.
Right.
And we are also not doing, there's another 4 Christmas movie release that we're not doing.
We just can't. We can't do it all.
We can't do it all.
There are not enough days in the week. Here's my thought, though. The Cherry Lane movies will come to linear
maybe
viewing.
that'll be like a Christmas in July drop.
Yeah, I think if we just put a pin in those, they're going to come to the Hallmark Channel either in July or they will show them next Countdown to Christmas. But I think it's going to be July.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll review them then.
If there's a movie that we are missing that you are dying to hear a review for, there are months after December. Send us an email. Let us know.
I always feel weird about like putting out a review for a Christmas movie after Countdown to Christmas ends. But then I forget that a lot of people like DVR these or they watch them on... I was going to say Hallmark Movies Now on Hallmark Plus or whatever.
Also, I think you need to keep in mind that a lot of people are listening to reviews having not just immediately watched the movie, or they're listening to reviews for movies that they have watched in the past. So I don't think a review needs to necessarily drop immediately after the airing of a movie to be relevant. Let us know what you think on all of that. Let us know your thoughts on dropping movies outside of the season in which they've premiered, etc.
Yes. Are we ready to move on to talk about the Jane Mysteries Too Much to Lose?
Can I tell you, first of all, I turned on Hallmark Plus to watch this, and I opened up the Jane Mysteries like collection, and I just hit play because I had watched the other 2, and it started playing the Jane Mysteries Inheritance Lost.
The very first movie.
Which I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know, I didn't have the names of these movies memorized, let's be serious. And so I'm watching it, and at the very beginning of that movie, Stephen Huszar shows up, and she doesn't know who he is. And he like introduces himself. I'm like, maybe this is a flashback. And then he's like telling her about the death of her uncle and how her inheritance is his detective agency. And I was like, I think perhaps I'm watching the wrong movie.
How far did you get into it?
5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So then I did watch the correct movie.
Got
But
it.
I was like, I kind of want to go back and watch the Jane Mysteries origin story.
do you?
Are you ready for a synopsis?
I am. While preparing for the Children's Hospital Gala, Jane Da Silva investigates the disappearance of a journalist who vanished after winning a game show. With Detective John Cameron, Jane uncovers a dangerous world of blackmail and fraud.
Marco Duthemia returns as director, having directed all 4 of the Jane movies along with The Heiress and The Handyman.
Neil Kimmel is back as the scriptwriter. She penned all of the Jane movies except for Murder at Mosby.
Jodie Sweetin plays Jane Da Silva. Fun fact, Jodie wrote her memoir, Unsweetened, a memoir published in 2010. Us Weekly called it explosive, and E! Online described it as brutally honest as she shares her journey through addiction and recovery.
I'm kind of interested in listening to it because that's how I consume books, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of
She's
interested
very open about, she's living as a sober person, now, but she's very open about, she's on her 4th husband and how she's like, I'm done. This is it.
Yeah, I know she is a frequent-ish guest on a talk show you listen to.
Regularly.
Anyway, I kind of want to listen to
I think I do
book.
too. Add it to the list.
next year, 2025. Stephen Huszar plays Detective John Cameron. We've discussed how much we really enjoy him in this dry, gruff detective role. And as I looked through his resume, I saw that he has appeared in several of the Ruby Herring mysteries. And I wonder if those are worth checking out. I need listeners to weigh in. Is it the same Stephen Huszar we're getting here in these movies?
I had heard in our Facebook group that they loved him there.
Oh, piping hot tea.
Girls Gone Hallmark at gmail.com. Email us your thoughts on Stephen Huszar and the Ruby Herring mysteries. Paris Jefferson returns as Sadie Da Silva.
Sherry Miller plays Irene/Ida. Sherry has 98 acting credits, having appeared in Family History Mysteries, Buried Past, 5 More Minutes, as well as Shane's mom in Signed, Sealed, Delivered, The Vows We Have Made. Remember how great she was in that role?
Yep.
Miller will appear in the forthcoming Hot Frosty on Netflix, also starring one Lacey Chabert.
Troy Blundell plays Edgar Salmon. Troy has 51 acting credits, which include From Friend to Fiancé, Return to Christmas Creek, and A Nutcracker Christmas for Hallmark.
Are you familiar with any of those movies?
Wasn't A Nutcracker Christmas the Christmas in July drop?
That was Operation Nutcracker.
Oh, I apologize. Then the answer is no.
Okay. Victoria Sawal plays Margaret. Victoria has 15 acting credits, and outside of one episode of The Good Witch, this is her first movie for Hallmark. She has also appeared in the series Why, The Last Man, which probably needs to be added to our bingo card at this point.
It's been a frequent flyer. Monica Rodriguez-Knox plays Sophie. Monica has 18 acting credits, including a recent appearance in Hallmark's Falling in Love and Niagara.
Jessica Behan plays Angela. With 18 acting credits, she has appeared in several Hallmark-esque projects. However, this is her first Hallmark movie.
James Jarris plays Craig. This is his first project for Hallmark.
Hey, Kiwi the Cockatiel plays Perry the Parrot.
I like the alliteration on both of those.
I tried to see if Kiwi the Cockatiel, cockatoo? No.
I think cockatiel, there's 2 different kinds of birds, I think. Cockatiel is a bird.
I was looking to see if they had like an Instagram.
A social media presence.
Bird. Couldn't find anything.
What was your first impression of Too Much to Lose?
I'm so sorry, but this is the weakest of the bunch. Oh, I like your game show.
Thank you. Thank you. My first impression was Stephen Huszar listening last week when we said, take your shirt off.
Listen, that is the only highlight in this movie for me.
Wow. This was the what's the word? This was the cream of the crop for me.
I just did not find the story that compelling. I mean, I think I watched it like 4 times.
Still laughing at my game show sound effect. Look, I'm not good at puns. I'm way too literal for them. I never come up with them. Whenever someone does it, I'm like, oh. So I didn't actually think the pun work in this movie was all that great.
Yeah.
However, I did like that they staged this fake game show in flashback. I thought that was fun.
Okay. It was fine. It was fine.
Okay.
I mean, we need to talk about, you just skimmed right over this shirtless scene.
It was great. What more do you want me to say? Well, take your shirt off more, Steven.
Here is what I was thinking. It's a real rare treat that we get a shirtless dude in Hallmark, right? And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Is this what we're doing over on Hallmark Plus now?
We don't have a TVG rating, so we can do whatever we want.
Maybe.
I'm going to be honest, I don't think so. Hallmark doesn't want to lose that family-friendly label. He was changing his clothes.
I know he was. And he was just like, let me stop shirtless to have this conversation with you. It was just funny. I thought maybe they're just pushing the boundary on Hallmark Plus a little bit.
Perhaps.
I like eye candy.
I know.
So I loved it. And I thought it was real funny considering last week you were calling so hard for him to be shirtless.
Once. I said it once.
You know what I really liked in this movie? Is that the last two Jane reviews, I didn't really understand Jane's role at the foundation and what the foundation did. Remember, I was like calling her a PI or a detective or like whatever she is. Well, she kind of mentioned it again in this movie.
They take on cold cases.
It's a foundation for righting wrongs. So yeah, cold cases or like people who are in trouble for things that they shouldn't.
The Innocence Project Hallmark edition.
Exactly. For me, this is kind of a wish, but it's here. I think there's more potential to explore cold cases than like current missing person cases.
Yeah, well, and that's how the first movie, that was the angle of the first movie, right? That boy was
a deadly prescription. Yes.
Correct. Good job. Thank you. I never would have gotten there. Yeah, I kind of like that better.
So do I, because Jane is not a skilled professional. She's amateur hour. She's like me literally me, who has zero skills in solving a case.
Detective skills, sure.
And I'm like out on the streets, like following people. Like, no.
I mean, you and Goldie Berry and Hannah Swenson.
It drives me crazy.
Okay, here's another reason why I think the cold case angle is better, because I know it's a running joke, but like how many people can die in the presence? I happen to note like someone very close to my family was murdered. That is a unique situation. I don't think many people are aware of murder happening around them constantly. In the way that, like we said, like the Curious Caterer, someone's always dying. This stuff happened in the past. Someone's not dying every month on you.
Yeah, and make her more of an internet sleuth. You know, doing the hard work on the
the person
paper.
Doesn't need to be somehow connected to you. These events don't necessarily need to happen in and around you all the time.
Exactly.
It adds a level of believability.
Exactly. Two other things I liked. I have to admit, I do enjoy Jodie Sweetin singing in these movies.
Yeah.
She's got a great voice.
She really does.
I think it's fun, and I like how they change it ever so slightly in each movie.
The style of music. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what she's performing or whatever. And there was one real LOL moment for me in this movie, and it's when Detective John is changing his clothes and Jodie, as Jane says, like, I'm here to give you fashion advice or something like that. And I just got a real chuckle out of that because we've talked about the wardrobe choices for her.
I thought it was much better in this movie.
Yes, but in this one particular scene, it looked like she was wearing like a two-piece matching set that looked like pajamas, but I think were a regular outfit.
A lot of pencil skirts in this movie. Did you notice?
I did notice.
I mean,
on the women.
On the women, obviously. Yes. We did not get Huszar in a pencil skirt.
I'm
Although the man has the, what do we call these?
I don't know what those are called, but they make me sweat a little bit. Those that V thing.
He's got the abs for it, is all I'm saying.
Speaking of abs, side note, I saw an Instagram from one BJ Britt who is going to be in the groomsmen and on our cruise as well.
Speaking of people you'd like us to hunt out, look, I want to put it out there because in case anybody at Hallmark or a Hallmark adjacent listens to this, we are absolutely not going to be those people.
No.
We're going to be the most well-behaved members of this cruise.
So BJ puts out this video on his Instagram. It's like it's I don't know if it's a reel or what, but like he's got a kind of a low-cut shirt on and he's smiling. He got this great smile. It's kind of slow motion. And can you please read my comment that I left from our Girls Gone Hallmark account?
Okay, hold on. Anyone else peep those pecs?
Sorry, I cracked myself up at 6:30 this morning, but it was a nice little window into his chest.
I'm just reading the other comments. One from James Vaughn, who's Jonathan Bennett's husband, says, "Look at you."
I wonder if he's going to be on the cruise. He's got to be, right?
Oh, that'd be so fun. Do you ever watch their content? Like he posts videos because Jonathan Bennett is a Carnival Cruise ambassador. And so he posts like funny videos.
Sorry, I got distracted there. I think I'm done with my likes.
So I just have one more. Last week, you mentioned that you wanted to see a little more forward progress with Wendy's rolling her eyes.
It's in my wishes, but go ahead.
Well, I actually thought we got some It's a series. They cannot get them together. They're Ross and Rachel. I don't know what you want from them.
They wish they were Ross and Rachel.
I just meant it's the Ross and Rachel prototype, right? It's the will they or won't they. Obviously, I mean, Tom and Goldie finally got together, but it took them a while. They're like arguing back and forth where he doesn't want her to go, put herself in danger. And he's like, I just need you to be safe. They're like yelling back and forth at each other. But she's like, I'd love to be safe so I can go on many dates with you.
Yeah.
And then like he had clearly told his niece, she's like, you're right. She is pretty. Let's move on to wishes so you can yell at me.
No, I appreciate the attempts at if we're going to call that flirting.
Did you see him giving him the eyes when he's like shirtless and changing his clothes?
Yes, I did. But I'm getting zero chemistry from these two. We just watched The Real West and talk about the fire.
A master class in on-screen chemistry.
Yeah, so I'm like, is it what they're working with here, or do these actors just can't convey that, or what's happening? Because I'm out. At this point, I'm just like over rooting for them. Like, I get what you mean. Like, this is a series and we kind of have to string it all along just so we can like keep tuning in to see if they're gonna, but like, I'm over it.
Yeah, I actually really liked this movie. I was like, I could watch 3 more Jane Mysteries after this one.
I probably could too, but
you need more.
I need something.
One of my wishes, I was literally screaming at the screen, it's peekaboo! I knew what
you figured it
the
out.
password was.
Oh, yeah.
When Perry's like, peekaboo, peekaboo.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, what could the password be? And then they're like, Ida tells her, she's like, oh, she always loved her games. It would definitely be something obvious. And Perry's like, peekaboo, let's play peekaboo. I'm like, oh my God, Jane, get there faster.
Jane is not a detective.
Ding, ding, ding.
That's really funny. So didn't you think, though, this movie had way too many characters in it?
That's every Hallmark mystery for me.
I really dislike it.
But is that every mystery, though? You got to have a red herring. Lots of them.
Yes, but my brain just like short circuits. Like that's why I've had to watch this movie like telling you 4 times since Thursday.
Too many times. I think the appeal of the mystery series is like once you're this far in, like we know Jane, we know I don't even know that detective's name. Is it Mark?
John.
We know Sadie. Like, we know these people, so we're not getting to know them. And so I think maybe that made me more open to understanding these characters. But I will tell you that I don't have a memory for names. So when they're talking about someone, I'm like, oh, I don't know who they're talking about.
You need like a little cheat sheet on the screen.
When they're like, Sophie is doing this. I'm like, which one's Sophie? Is she good or is she bad?
Well, because all those women, not that they kind of looked the same, but they all were women of same age, same length of hair, different hair colors, but still, like, I was like, who is this? I agree.
I am Drew. I am Danny. We are not the same person.
Where is that
Have you
from?
seen that? Yeah, it's a TikTok. It's too
Oh,
long.
no, I don't know that.
I don't know what the sound is from. It's just a TikTok trend. Okay.
I have one more dislike.
You've totally changed the segment name. Straight up, I don't like it.
Wish. I'm so sorry. I have one more wish.
Okay.
Real missed opportunity with Jane's dead mom storyline.
Where did that go?
Like, I get that you need like something in each like episode, but there was like nothing, no mention of it in this episode. And I just think it's unfortunate because I thought that they teed it up really well in Murder at Mosby.
But it wasn't written by the same person. And so my guess is, like, the directive has to be like, just add a little more heat with these two, because there's no tie-in, right? There's no connection to Murder at Mosby. Really, the only way that we know that it's further along is like Jane and the detective are flirting. I forgot it's John.
Yeah.
That's the only.
Yeah.
And Sadie's hair is shorter.
And whose hair?
Sadie, she cut her hair.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, Sadie cut her hair, but other than that, there is no connection. And so you are exactly right. Because I didn't do the notes on this, I didn't realize that they had a different writer. And it makes perfect sense why they wouldn't have continued that storyline, but real missed opportunity.
This series for me is lacking like a through line, something that's going to connect it. That's what I say. I don't care about the John and Jane storyline that much.
I would have liked more of the mom, like just some information. Let this be running in the background. How about Did You See That?
I have one, and it's a non-traditional. Did you see that?
Okay.
There is not one single user or critic review for this movie on IMDb. It has been out almost a week.
You know, I
Almost
had
7
noticed
days.
that about last week too, actually, when we were recording. I think it speaks to the volume of Hallmark Plus viewers.
Yeah.
Also, you know what I think? Well, I was going to say, like, I sometimes feel like people who are critical are more likely to leave a review. And I think Hallmark Plus users might be Hallmark super fans and therefore less likely to leave a review. I also think, this is my last opinion on the subject, that the streaming user is a younger demographic and the person who is likely to leave an IMDb review is an older demo.
Me?
No.
I leave IMDb reviews.
You do?
I leave Yelp reviews.
Okay, well... Yes, boomer, you.
I'm not a boomer. I'm Gen X, baby.
Me too, man. By the skin of my teeth.
Did you have any? Did you see that?
Yeah, so I thought you would appreciate this one. Irene, in her text to Craig, calls him Craig instead of Curly. And to me, that was a real Donna saying Dave moment when she's being attacked and held like hostage behind the door. And she's like, I'm fine, Dave. And David Silver knew that was the clue that she was not, in fact, fine.
She's referencing Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah.
If no one is familiar, but yes, I remember that scene clearly.
We later learned that happens because Irene wasn't the one who wrote the message, so it wasn't like a clue. But that's what I thought of in that moment. And just a thought, there's a moment when the amateur sleuths are in Irene's house and they refuse to turn on the light, but they're straight up touching all of her mail and unrolling it. And granted, they're like using tools to move it around, but I thought we're still disturbing evidence here. You can't turn on a light switch with your elbow, but you can touch all of her mail.
Yeah. What'd you rate this?
2.5 stars.
Me too. I had to go back and look at my other ratings too, because of the 3 we watched, I liked Murder at Mosby the best, followed by A Deadly Prescription. I think that's what it's called. And then this one. So
I am going to be honest. I have no idea how I rated the other 2 and how this compares in my ratings, because it's like an in the moment, pure vibes decision.
of course, always. I think this series, and this is my opinion, I think the series could do well. I think they need to change up the writers and the directors on it.
Okay.
Just flip it on its head a little bit.
Yeah, shake it up.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark. If you love this podcast, we love your 5-star ratings and reviews. Please leave them in the Apple Podcast app, or if you're a Spotify user, you can leave a comment on the episode that you are currently listening to. We'd love it if you did that. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.